Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. So in this video, we're going to just do another velocity banking review. And this time, we're going to review a concept that's very central to velocity banking, which is called segregation of income. So I've talked about this before, but this is very important because people make decent money and they don't understand why they are broke, right? I talked about this especially with the six-figure earners. And I received an email this morning from somebody who actually is making, decent money and has over 22 debts. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to feature this person's situation in a live stream. Again, it's actually real life this Saturday on August 17, 2024, 11 a.m. Eastern. And this is a prime example of segregation of income. And if you don't know what segregation of income is, it's pretty much the opposite of velocity banking. So, in velocity banking, we put our entire paycheck into one place. Well, with segregation of income, this is what society trains us to do. Instead of using our checking account, instead of using our line of credit as our main operating account, our checking account is our main operating account. So our money comes in a checking account, gets split into a gazillion ways, right? Credit cards, one, two, three, loan, one, two, three, 401k savings. And so if your money is just in one place, right, it's much more effective than if it's split all over the place, right? You ever try multitasking? That's essentially what your money is doing when you do it the typical way, right? Of engaging in segregation of income. I don't know about you, but I learned in school that segregation is bad. Okay, so just to get started, let's go ahead and have the British AI voice bot explain segregation of income again, because I don't know about you, but whenever I learn something new, I like to learn it, like hear it from five different people. So at least in this video, you get to hear it from two different people, me and the British AI voice bot. So let's go ahead and play what the British AI voice bot has to say.
Segregation of income is the opposite of velocity banking. When the typical person gets paid, their checking account is their main operating account. Their payments get split all over the place. For example, credit cards 1, 2, and 3, loans 1, 2, and 3, they put some money in a 401k and a savings account. With velocity banking, the idea is to use the full power of your paycheck into one place using your line of credit as your main operating account so that you are not simply just making minimum payments on all debts.
Wow. Wow. You see, I love to learn for everybody, including the British AI voice bot. So now here's the thing, right? I want to give you a brief preview of what I saw this morning. So usually when people like ask for like velocity banking spreadsheets, I kind of ignore it. But if you actually do it yourself, I'm actually impressed, right? So this person wrote to me and say, please, look at my spreadsheet, and if you try it out, I'll most likely take a look. So let's just take a look right here in this Excel window, and you take a look at that. Oh my goodness, mind blown, right? So let me go ahead and zoom in on this Excel sheet. So this person actually did the two columns really well and did the cash flow index. And here's the crazy thing, right? I was blown away when I saw this. $5,474 in income and $4.10 left over. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go over, the debt payoff and all that because that's what the live stream is for, but I just want to give you a quick preview of this, and this is the prime example. This is like the unicorn of unicorns. I thought the last person who sent me their spreadsheet, or one of the last people who sent me their spreadsheet, had 15 debts, right? But let's take a look at how many debts we have here. And again, one of the last people who had 15 debts on their spreadsheet had at least $900 of cash flow left over and made more money, right? So let's take a look. It's, how many debts there are. It's one. I think this one's eliminated, but maybe it just got recently eliminated. So let's start with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 debts. And then you got your other food, gas, insurance, and all that. So this is the prime example of segregation of income. Your income comes in, right? It gets split in 22 or 21 different ways, and your savings is only $4 this month. Yes, $4. And this is a real life scenario. And I was blown away because, again, this is like the unicorn of segregation of income. Like sometimes I talk about it and it's like kind of theoretical in my mind because I paid off a lot of my debt. And then I realized, oh my goodness, I understand why people are so addicted to this content because they're living it right now. And it's like I'm a fortune teller, but I'm not. I'm just repeating what I learned from somewhere else. But this is segregation of income at its finest. Now, you all know that the examples that I like to use when talking about segregation of income. So if we take a look here, you always see me talk about that 10 credit card example, right? $9,000 of income, expenses, negative savings. Now here's the cool thing, or here's the funny thing. Even if you make so let's say even if you have negative savings, but you make a lot of money, that's actually better in my experience than, you make like $3,000, $4,000, but you have $200 of cash flow. I don't know why it is, but when you have 9,000 or $10,000 of income and you have negative $644 of savings, and usually it depends on what source of that um, negative savings is. It's especially if it's from credit cards, and that's a lot easier to handle than you making less income. It's weird, and I can't explain why. I just know that that's how it works. Okay. So the other thing too is we need a line of credit as our main operating account, right? And the person who sent me their spreadsheet, let me actually just kind of briefly go through it one more time. Take a look here. So has actually a line of credit, but it's filled up all the way. Like it's like 18 grand of balance, and then like 18 grand in like the total limit. And so this person is maxed out. And the reason why we're maxed out in our line of credit is because we're not using it as our main operating account. Those are the three magical words that makes and breaks the difference between the average American and the velocity banker. Average American is not about income. Average American is, what is your main operating account? Is your checking account, or is it your line of credit while we're paying off debt, right? So again, this is segregation of income. Paycheck comes in, your money gets split into 20 different ways, or 21, and then you end up broke because you're essentially making minimum payments on everything, right? And so let me just kind of go back to the other Excel sheet, and let's just quickly solve the one that we always do, because we're going to leave this unicorn of the segregation of income example for this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we can solve it together because, to be honest, I'm blown away. I'm blown away. Again, sometimes I teach these things and it's like there's no way someone's gonna make that much money and then be like have a penny left, and or something like that, right? Because I call it the extreme stress test or financial stress test. But here we are, $4 left over, right? Now, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy using your lines of credit as your main operating account. And one of the principles of velocity banking is that we are going to prevent that thing called segregation of income. That thing that the British AI voice bot talked about, the thing that we just showed in real life, that people are actually sending. Again, I get unsolicited emails all the time, just like, oh my goodness, this is my budget and I'm broke, right? Happens all the time. So let's go ahead and do this. And we're going to do this, zero savings, and then income minus expenses. And again, we're going to make sure that our money isn't split all over the place, right? And so if we have a line of credit as our main operating account, which we do in this example, 100 or $200,000 limit, and if we just make a debt transfer of $167,000, because again, all these credit cards are $167,000. Our money is being split into 11 places, at least in this example. So when we move just simply the credit card debt, all this credit card debt, and then we move it to a line of credit, well, guess what happens? This turns to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And I know I go over it all the time, but when you see it in real life, it's like your mind gets blown because you think, because I do this almost every single day. This is like so obvious to me. I'm like, oh, everyone else is gonna get it, but they don't until it's too late. But if you're if you're trying and creating your own spreadsheets, man, I applaud you, right? Because at least you're putting in the effort to get out of the hole that you may have dug yourself in. But seeing the 21 or 22 debts, it blows my mind to see how we can be on the cusp or the edge because of that segregation of income effect, right? And what's the actual velocity banking strategy? It's your line of credit into, I'm sorry, it's your paycheck into the line of credit, and then your expenses out of the line of credit, and then after every single year month, this is your debt reduction balance, right? After every single month, it's going to go down by 4,700 plus interest. Okay, and it's really easy to calculate that. I always do this all the time. And you get to get the next month's balance. It's the previous month's balance plus the previous month's interest minus whatever our cash flow is at the time, which is 4701.35. And then all we gotta do is take the average daily balance, do this average function right here, multiply it by the interest rate, which is zero point 0.1, and divide it by 12, and we get the monthly interest. And uh, that's how we pretty much tackle debt, right? And yeah, that's it. Because we again, one of the core tenets, not the only core tenet, but one of the core tenets of velocity banking is that we're going to park our money into one place to prevent this thing called the segregation of income. And some people don't believe me that this is real. But folks, it's real, or else I wouldn't get unsolicited emails, right? This is I think I'm gonna have a blast going over this example of 20 something debts, right? This Saturday, because $4.10 in savings. I feel like almost like Dave Ramsey. You know when Dave Ramsey gets those calls and it's like, whoa, how'd you get there? And sometimes when I was like completely broke, I used to listen to Dave Ramsey all the time just to make myself feel better. It's like, how does he have like an endless stream people who call? I saw one video of Dave Ramsey where it's like, we make $300,000 when we're broke. $300,000. So broke is just you can be broke at all levels, right? But this is amazing to me just to see this. And again, we're gonna go over this Saturday, right? So let me show again this Saturday at 11 a.m. I'm gonna show how I might tackle that situation. Again, I'm not giving any professional or financial advice. Talk to your financial advisor. Disclaimer. But yes, we're going to be eliminating 22 debts on that live stream using that example. And that person said, I can use that spreadsheet as an example for a live stream. So I'm going to go ahead and do it, right? Because that is a prime example of segregation of income. Now, to close out, okay, let's go ahead and play that AI voice bot again. Because, like I said, you learn from one person like me, and then you hear it again from another person. That's how your mind solidifies what it's you're learning. So let's go ahead and close it out.
Segregation of income is the opposite of velocity banking. When the typical person gets paid, their checking account is their main operating account. Their payments get split all over the place. For example, credit cards 1, 2, and 3, loans 1, 2, and 3, they put some money in a 401k and a savings account. With velocity banking, the idea is to use the full power of your paycheck into one place using your line of credit as your main operating account so that you are not simply just making minimum payments on all debts.
That's right. That's beautiful explanation. All right. Well, that's it. It's 12:47 a.m. and I'm so sleepy. But I got pretty excited looking at that email. Most people, if they talk about velocity banking and just kind of ask for a spreadsheet, um, I kind of ignore it. But the fact that you tried made me open it up, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm impressed." And that again, unicorn of example of segregation of income. It's amazing what happens when you just talk about this stuff and people are like, I'm in that situation. Let me send an email, right? Okay, well, that's it for today. Have a great day, and we will speak next time. Korean Atlanta Mentorship signing out, and I'm sleepy.